What's good, people? Thanks as always for passing by the channel. Much appreciated. Hit that subscribe button if you guys are new. I've been super busy. I can't lie to you. I've been super busy. Hence why there's been no videos for the last few days. Plus, there hasn't been much to talk about, if I'm honest with you. I mean, not much has happened in the boxing world until now. Until now, there is stuff to talk about now. AJ versus Miller has been signed, sealed, and will be delivered on the 1st of June, Madison Square Garden. Anthony Joshua will take on big baby Jarrell Miller, the unbeaten 315-pound cheeseburger eating, self-confessed cheeseburger eating. I'm not taking the piss here. We don't know what the undercard is yet, but I think Eddie Hearn spoke about the likes of Katie Taylor being undercard, Cal Yafai, Ray Beltran versus Ricky Burns in a rematch of a fight that happened in Glasgow. I don't know if you guys remember that. That must have been about 5-6 years ago before Terence Crawford went to Glasgow and beat Ricky Burns. So they're talking about doing a rematch of that one. That could be a decent fight. Ricky Burns actually looked a lot better in his last outing, so that could be an interesting matchup. But no one cares about the undercard. This isn't about the undercard. This is about the main event, Anthony Joshua, Jarrell Miller. Anthony Joshua's making his debut in America, and it's a fucking big deal. It's a big deal. Matchroom, DAZN, and Sky have gone promotional overdrive on this one. As soon as this was announced, I went onto my Twitter feed and my Instagram feed and I saw nothing but AJ Miller, like nothing. And I follow every other sports person. They literally are pumping this out. I knew they were going to obviously pump out that confrontation that AJ and Miller had. When was it? I think June or July last year when AJ was pushing the Povetkin fight. They've obviously pumped that face-to-face off a lot. They're pumping it out. Miller will sell the fight, which is fantastic. AJ's trying to do his bit. He doesn't really sell fights, but he might need to come out of his shell a little bit, especially if we're talking the American market, the market that don't really know him. A lot of people disagreed with that statement when I say America don't really know AJ. And what I mean, I don't mean the boxing people. Obviously, the boxing people, if you're a boxing fan, you don't know who the heavyweight champion of the world is, then you're probably not a boxing fan. I'm talking about America in general, right? I'm talking about the other sporting fans. I'm talking about your hockey fans, your baseball fans, your NBA fans, your NFL fans, even just your people that are not sport fans. They don't know who AJ is. And that's the job now of Eddie Hearn, DAZN, Matchroom, AJ himself to really push the boat out here, because AJ needs to go over there and become a star, right? That's what he needs to do. And I want to see this. I want to see this, not just because I'm an AJ fan, but because we've not really had a boxer from the UK anyway to go over there and just be the A-side, the big star, right? We're always going over there as challengers. I mean, in my time following boxing, so we're talking 20, 25 years, I mean, Prince Nassim went over there as the A-side. Yeah, that's one. Ricky Hatton kind of went over there as the A-side, but then eventually turned into the B-side, obviously with those fights against Floyd and Pacquiao. No shame in that. I mean, B-side against those guys. Who isn't going to be B-side? And then you're really kind of scratching your head. Who are the guys? I mean, Joe Calzaghe, maybe, but again, that wasn't massive fights against Roy Jones Jr. and Bernard Hopkins. Big fights for us boxing fans, but in terms of casual fans, not really massive fights. Amir Khan, Froch, Lewis, I guess to an extent, but no British boxer's gone over there as the man, right? You are the man. You are the A-side. You are the alpha dominant here. And I think it's a good thing, right? And I think British fans, regardless of if you're a Joshua fan or a Tyson Fury fan, should get behind that, because it's good to see. It's good to see the growth of British boxing, that our fighters are going over there now, not just as challengers, but as the main people, which is very, very good. Someone did ask me, will the British boxing fans travel for AJ? And I thought this was actually a very good question. Immediately, obviously, people would say, of course they would. AJ fills out Wembley Stadium. He fills out the Principality Stadium. It's slightly different if you think about it. Of AJ's fan base, I would say 70 to 80% are casual fans. And the other sort of 30 to 20% are real hardcore boxing fans. If you were to compare that to another British boxing legend that had a massive fan base, like a Ricky Hatton, I would say it was the other way around. I'd say Ricky Hatton had a casual fan base of about 30% and a hardcore fan base of 70%. And I think it's the hardcore fans that are willing to pay the money and travel. I really do think that. I think the casual fans are happy to press the red button on the Sky Sports box office and tune in and maybe spend about, I don't know, 200 quid in going to Wembley Stadium. So we're talking tickets, train fare, food. Casual fan. The hardcore fan, though, will travel. That's why Ricky Hatton always had a massive traveling fan base, similar to Conor McGregor. But I do think AJ has enough hardcore fans to travel and fill out MSG. I do believe that. I do believe that fans will be willing to spend, what's it going to cost? Let's just, ticket, airline ticket, hotel, food, $1,500, $2,000 for that weekend, maybe even a bit less. I think the hardcore fans will travel. And I think Matchroom will put together some great packages just to make sure that this doesn't turn into a comp session. What they don't want to do is have 7,000 people buying tickets and having to give the rest away as comps. They don't want to do that. That's one thing Eddie Hearn always disses other promoters for doing. He's going to make sure that doesn't happen with AJ. So the hardcore fans, I think, will travel, but I don't think it's going to be in the numbers that Ricky Hatton had or Conor McGregor had it. I just don't see AJ having that kind of hardcore fan base. I really don't. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think he has that kind of hardcore fan base. Let's talk about the fight very briefly. Big Baby Miller is a threat. I mean, if you're 315 pounds, I don't care. If you hit someone, you are going to hurt them. So it is a threat. But I just don't see how this goes past round 8 or 9. I really don't. I think AJ is going to put on a demolition job. I think he's been scrutinized a lot recently, let's be honest. Not just the fact that we didn't get the Wilder or Fury fights, but I think even because of his last recent performances. I think people weren't too happy with Parker. People definitely weren't happy with Takam. And I think he was in trouble for a few rounds against Povetkin. So he does need a dominant performance to say, I'm the number 1 heavyweight in the world. He does need that. And the Americans want to see that as well. The Americans don't want to see this 6'6" giant that we've been building up with a 90% KO record go to points. They want to see him put on a performance. And all eyes will be on him June 1st at Madison Square Garden to put that performance on. This isn't just about boxing. It really isn't, guys. This isn't just about AJ going over there and beating up Miller. This is about America seeing who AJ is. Eddie Hearn talks about this all the time. A lot of other boxers talked about this all the time. This is about AJ cracking America. So this is more than just a boxing event for AJ. This is a big event, not just for Matchroom, but for DAZN. This is a massive event as well for Eddie Hearn. He's done the UK now. He's ticked that box. He's sold out stadiums. Eddie Hearn knows that. Now it's about, can Eddie Hearn turn AJ into a superstar in America? It's a whole different ballgame. They already have a lot of sports stars over there. Can AJ actually be a part of that? Can they talk about AJ in a couple of years' time the way they talk about LeBron James, Steph Curry, Tom Brady? It's a big shout. It's a big ask. But look, it's heavyweight boxing. If anyone can do it, AJ can do it.